Morning. Welcome to our E3 Weekly Market Report. I'm Pat McClatchy. This is January the 29th, Friday, the last day of the month. We are one day delayed on this export report. Let's get right to it. Looking at cotton, we've got cotton net sales of 128,300 running bales. That's down 34% from the previous week and down 8% from the 4-week average. Turkey took 44,500. Vietnam took 13,900. Indonesia took 13,400. We do have very light cancellations. And looking here for any other news coming out, really don't see anything else. Cotton was up 25 just before this report. Right now, cotton is unchanged. So this number was perceived a little bit smaller than had been thought. Going now to soybeans, we've got the export figure here, 647,800. That's 647,800 metric tons. That's down 34% from the previous week and down 14% from the 4-week average. China took 296,800. We've got, let's see, we have Germany taking 131,600 and the Netherlands taking 74,000 metric tons. Looking at the reaction there, the soybean market was up 1/4 cent just before this report. Right now, the soybean market is up a penny, so a slight firming up there. Corn market, the number's 817,000 metric tons. That's down 29% from the previous week, but up 17% from the prior 4-week average. Mexico took 304,900. Japan took 245,800. Saudi Arabia took 77,000 metric tons. And looking at that reaction, corn market was up 3/4 cent just before this report. It has not changed. It is still up 3/4 cent. March corn trading at 366 1/4. Let's look lastly at wheat. The wheat net sales of 294,200. That's down 19% from the previous week, but up 9% from the 4-week average. Japan took 153,600 metric tons. Indonesia took 60,100 metric tons. South Korea took 53,300 metric tons. Now, the wheat market was unchanged just before this report. The wheat market right now is still unchanged. Looking back over at cotton continues to weaken some, down right now 3 at 61.33. A high made overnight of 61.89, a low made overnight of 61.08. So we'll see how that market continues to react from this export report. Let's talk a little bit about what's happened to the markets recently and the relationship between commodity prices, world stock markets, the value of the dollar. For some time, we've seen the dollar, as it's strengthened, have a negative impact on commodity prices. And the reason's simple. As other countries weaken, they're able to buy less for their currency than they could have, so they're able to buy less exports. That's the effect. The other is Chinese has shown for some months now a slowing down of their economy, and along with that, the fear that they'll be buying less of commodity prices. And that's had a negative effect on the market. And there have been some other things that have come along. Crude oil seems to be sort of a proxy for commodity prices. As crude oil has sold off over time, it seems each day to have a negative effect on other commodities. So what's happened recently? Well, recently, about 7 trading days ago, we bottomed the crude oil, at least for now. And we've had a very good rally. And let's see what some other markets have done during that time period and how the commodity markets have reacted. Looking at crude oil over the last 7 days, from where we had gotten down to how high we had gotten, actually the high was made yesterday, crude oil has had a rally of $7.26 a barrel during that period in March crude oil. Let's now go to the dollar index. Remember, it's inverse to commodity prices in terms of its influence. when it sells off, commodity prices do better. The dollar index over that 7-day period from its high to its low during that period had dropped 138 points. Also, let's go to gold. Gold over that 7-day period had rallied $38 an ounce. The S&P, look at the stock market. The S&P during that period, that same 1-week period, had rallied 106 points, and the Dow Jones during that period from the low to the high had rallied 785 points. So what's been the effect on agricultural commodity markets? Let's start with soybeans. From the low to the high, actually there was a 3-week period that these markets had bottomed and started moving higher. Soybeans rallied 33 cents, corn rallied 24.5 cents, wheat rallied 32.25 cents. So after reporting all that, let's talk about cotton. What has cotton done? Well, cotton has actually done something very unusual. During that period, during most of the period, with the exception of yesterday and perhaps today, the cotton market is sold off during that period. Very unusual that it would be inverse to everything else. Not all markets bottom on the same day, but usually within a day or two, you'll see things moving together, and cotton just did not do it. The cotton market during that period, that 7-day period, sold off 226 points. Now, it did rally 50 points yesterday, and it's up right now about 4 points. That's March cotton. December cotton, it sold off 185 points. So March cotton sold off 226. December cotton sold off 185, all with these other markets moving up. So in investigating what has been happening during this period, sources tell us that a fund, or perhaps more than one fund, large fund with long positions in cotton, had been going through liquidation. Don't know the reason, just had decided to get out of cotton. So there's been quite a bit of selling of cotton during this period as someone or some group has been liquidating their positions. And it appeared that yesterday, from what we had heard, that was over. And once that was over, you could see the reaction. The cotton market closed up in March about 50 points. At one point today, it was up about 35 to 40. It has backed off some from this export figure, but we're starting to see life come back into the cotton market as it appears we've gotten maybe lower than we should have, and perhaps could see these markets moving back in line with other markets. That's really it on our observation of these markets. We'll review one more time where we are. Cotton market is down about 3 right now at 61.33. The soybean market has actually started to firm up some. It's up 1 1/4 at 8.69. That's a penny higher than it was before the export figure came out. The corn market's up 3/4 cent at 3.66 1/4. Corn was up 3/4 cent, so it's unchanged from where it was before the exports. And the wheat market right now is unchanged at 4.72. That also is exactly where we were before this export figure came out. So that's it. We hope you have a good day. Thanks for joining us for the E3 Weekly Market Report, and we'll see you later. Thank you.